Hello, welcome to Bloomartbysw, or welcome back. I'm Shahnaz. Some people call me Shaz, but I don't mind. I painted and drew some koi fish the other week, and I got a really lovely comment from someone asking me to draw a goldfish and paint a goldfish as well. So I thought, okay, yeah, why not? So here's my attempt at drawing a goldfish. I did draw a couple of loose goldfish without sort of drawing at all. I just didn't feel they looked quite right. I know it can be done, and I just thought I'm going to draw it, and this turned out all right, I think, anyway. Let me know what you think when you see the end results. But I've tried to keep it as simple as possible using the reference picture. If you don't like this particular picture, just look online. There's lots of different goldfish. Perhaps you've got a goldfish. I know they swim about, but if you can use that as a reference, you don't have to follow it exactly as it is in the picture. You're the artist. You decide what part you draw, how much of it you draw, whether you create it detailed or less detailed. It's entirely up to you, but this is what I felt was right. And I'm so sorry the bit of the pictures actually got cut off. I was concentrating so much because I want to get it right for you, and I obviously missed off part of the picture with the way the angle of the camera is. It's just on my iPhone. But if you absolutely hate drawing, what I will do is, in the description, I'm going to redo this, and you can download it for free. It'll be the first link. I'll make sure it's the first link in the description so you know exactly which one it is, and it will take you to the Google Drive, and you can then download it from there if you absolutely hate drawing. I do think you should try it yourself. Please do try it yourself, because the sense of achievement you get at the end of it, that feeling, you can only get it if you try it. Even if you think you can't draw, I don't believe that at all. I'm sure you can do it. You've just got to try it. Worst case scenario, you have got the option to download it if you would like to. It is for free. I have started, or I have set up a buy me a coffee. If you do feel like you do want to donate something just to say thank you, I would be greatly appreciative of that. No obligation, no pressure. The option is there if you do want to do that. So this is my take on it. I've probably done it a bit more detailed than I would have liked, but I just wanted to show you the scales, show you the fins. But yeah, this is my take on it anyway. Do let me know in the comments how you get on with it, because I'm really keen to know if you do like drawing, if you don't like drawing at all. Let me know what you think to it. Let me know what you think to this picture as well. And if you do download it, did you manage to trace it? Oh, that's the other thing. If you do download it, trace it. Make sure you've got some tracing paper and transfer it onto watercolour paper. If you do not have tracing paper, there is another way of transferring a picture onto onto paper, or any sort of paper. There is a way of doing that. I will do a separate video, and it will just be a short for that. So I'm now adding my base colour. I'm using Core watercolour paints. Core is spelt Q-O-R. The sketchbook I'm using is Ruben's sketchbook. And the paintbrush that I'm using is from a brand called Silver Black Velvet, size 4. You can use whatever you've got. Don't go out and buy things, especially if you've got materials already. If you haven't got materials and you're watching this for the very first time, welcome. I've got some other videos to show you what I would recommend you get as an absolute beginner. They are things that I've used and that I would recommend you use them if you are an absolute beginner. It's not all professional high quality paper if you're on a budget. If you're not on a budget, that's absolutely fine as well. Take a look, see what I recommend. I'll leave everything in the description box for you. I think I might have gone a bit bright with the yellow. Oh, I've got too much paint. This is good. I'm glad you're seeing this. If you do put too much paint, make sure you've got a towel, an old towel or kitchen paper is really good, and you can just sort of blot it, put a bit more water onto the paint, and you can sort of blot it or dab it, and it actually gives a really good effect. So I'm just spreading the paint around here with a decent amount of water, and then just dab it again, and that just gives the effect of some colour on the fin, but not too much colour. And I'm just blending it all in with a bit of water. So this was the first layer. I actually left it to dry a little bit, and then I'm coming back to this now after I've left it to dry for a little bit, for about 10-20 minutes. I think I had to go do dinner or something. But this is what I like about watercolours. You can just do one layer at a time, go and do something else, and then come back to it. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. Obviously, you can do that with some things. You can do it in one sitting, but sometimes I haven't got the time to sit and paint all day. I wish I did. But sometimes as well, you have to let a layer dry fully before you can do the next layer. Otherwise, it might not look right. So I'm just doing the top part of the fish, and I'm going in with some sort of a stronger, a bit more intense paint with the colour. This bit of the fin, okay, I probably didn't draw this bit very well, but it's still there. And I'm just blending it in at the top with some water. So all I've done is basically put some paint down, cleaned my brush, and then just blending it in with the brush and just moving it around where I want it to go. I'm avoiding the eye. I don't really want it to go on the eye just yet. And again, what I like about watercolour is you don't necessarily have to be too neat with it. I mean, I don't know if you have to be neat with oils or acrylics, but I just like how the colours just mix together. And I haven't mixed the paint onto the palette. I probably should have shown you the palette, but the majority I've just, it's blended on the paper. And if you would like to see the video with the koi fish, I will leave that in the description box as well for you. And if you are liking what you are seeing and you're getting use out of the tutorial, please feel free to drop me a like, and you could subscribe as well. I haven't got an exact schedule for when I will upload, but the next one that I will be doing is the koi fish onto black watercolour paper. That's the next thing that I've been meaning to do, and that's a little series that I've been doing on how to paint onto black watercolour paper. I'll leave that in the link for you as well in case you wanted to check that out. I've kept all of this in real time as well. I haven't sort of edited too much. All I've done is obviously I think I did it over 3 videos or 3 recordings, and I've obviously put them together for you. But you can leave each layer. This is the second layer that I'm doing. But dependent on how much time you've got, you can just do one bit at a time, come back to it, do another bit. Just do what's easy for you. If you want to do it all in one go, do it all in one go. So I'm just putting some colour down onto the fin, and then I'm using the lifting technique. This is just to get sort of a highlight, and then you get the illusion of the fin being see-through. And I'm just trying to think, and you can do this on your painting as well, just try and think where it would be darker on the fish. So in this case, I'm trying to keep it dark on the top of the fish, and below the fish. In the middle, you're going to have the sort of highlight. So if we look at the picture, I'll pop the picture back up and you can hopefully see what I mean. Try and have some highlights where the sun is sort of on or the light is on the fish. Okay, I haven't done it in exactly the same place, but hopefully you'll get what I mean. You just need to have it somewhere when you're painting this. Just have an idea of where you don't want to paint on, or where you don't want to be too heavy-handed with the paint. It all takes practice. Like I say, I'm not a professional watercolourist. I just really like using it, and someone told me I've got a knack for explaining this, and hopefully I'm explaining it to you how to do it as well if you're an absolute beginner. Even if you're not an absolute beginner and you're just looking for ideas, again, I hope this helps. And I'm just adding a little bit extra colour on the tail. If you have got a smaller brush, you can go over the lines or go next to the lines to put the fin lines in and the tail lines in. It just depends how much more detailed you want to be with the actual painting. But all I'm doing is just adding some extra little touches to just try and bring it a bit more to life. And then I'm just going to leave it to dry again. I'd say give it about 10-15 minutes again. Okay, so I'm back now, and I've grabbed some Payne's Grey, which is absolutely brilliant for dark areas like this, and I'm just doing the eye. Just be mindful to keep a little bit of the white area of the eye. I've put the picture back up just to try and show you what I mean. I don't know if you can see what I mean there, but just keep a little bit of the white around the eye. And I'm just adding a bit more detail just to try and bring it a bit more to life. Where are you in your artistic journey as well? Are you a beginner and you're just getting ideas of what to paint, or have you been painting for a little while now? A few months maybe, or a bit longer, and you're just trying to get some ideas of what else to paint, what techniques to do? I've been painting a little while now. I'd probably say coming up to 2 years, and I started with leaves, flowers, and I didn't feel like I was any good, but I was determined to get it right and like what I was doing. So that's why I'm just asking where you're at your stage as well. Are you looking to get more ideas of what to paint? Let me know in the comments where you feel you're at in your artistic journey. How long have you been painting with watercolours? I'm just adding a bit more detail now, and I'm just trying to think where the shadow would be, or where the dark areas would be on the fish, which would be at the top and a bit at the bottom as well. Again, I haven't followed the picture exactly. I'm just using the colours that I can see from the picture and just applying it the way I see it. this is what I like about watercolour and artists. You're the artist, you do what you feel is right for you. I'm just adding some details using the tip and the pointy bit of the brush. It's a size 4. If you've got a round brush, hopefully you've got the little tip on the end. If not, you can use a smaller brush and do the fine lines. Practice on some scrap paper first if you're not comfortable with doing it. But like I say, you don't have to be perfect. I have not done this perfectly. I'm all over the place, but that's my style. That's how I paint. And I'm just adding that to the other fin as well. And like I say, it just works, and you've just got to find your own style. And the only way you're going to do that is to paint, is to just keep painting, figure out what you like and what you don't like. So I did actually add one more layer. So I left that bit to dry, and I've come back to this now to add on the final layer. You do what you feel is right for you. If you want to do it all in one sitting, that's absolutely fine. I had to go back and forth and do other things, so I couldn't sit here and finish it off. I also wanted the layers to dry in between. It's really important to make sure the layers dry when you are painting so that you can put on the next layer. Otherwise, it will just all be a bleed. If that's what you want, that's absolutely fine. But because I'm now adding some extra details, I didn't want it to sort of all bleed too much. So I'm going in with a bit more intense colour now. Not a lot of water on the paintbrush, and I'm just adding in the scales. I am sort of doing it carefully and sort of following the pen marks that I already had in there, but again, it doesn't have to follow exactly what I've drawn on there. I'm just putting down what I feel looks right. And again, you've heard me say it, I haven't followed the picture exactly. Use the tippy part of the pointy tippy part of the brush to create the scales. I probably have gone a little bit heavy-handed in places, and I probably should have used a slightly smaller brush. But this is how I've done it now anyway. And just take your time with it. Don't rush it. You don't have to rush it. Take your time, enjoy the process and relax with it, and just don't worry about anything else. Again, another thing that I like about painting is that I'm proper concentrating. So you forget about what's going on and you just concentrate a few minutes on your painting and being creative. And I hope that's what it's like for you as well. I'm still going in and just adding in the final little touches. But if you've finished and you want to leave it there, that is absolutely fine. I hope you are pleased with your work. I am on Instagram. I know on YouTube you can't really send me pictures, but I'm on YouTube at Bloomartbysw. Send me a picture, tag me. I want to have a look. I want to see what you've done. Let me know what you've done and how you've got on. I'm just going in with a bit more finer lines and a bit more colour. And you can leave it there if you want. I am going to put a background on it in a second. Make sure it's all dry before you do your background. So again, leave it a few minutes if you want. And then I've come back to it and I'm just doing my background. I'm using a bigger brush, larger brush, from the same range, the Silver Black Velvet brush size 12. And I'm just adding clean water in the background. And it is good to add a background, I think, for something like this. It makes your subject or your fish or your flower or whatever it is that you're drawing stand out a bit more, pop out a bit more than if you were to not put a background on. It's entirely up to you. It's a personal preference whether you have a background on it or not. Everyone's got different opinions, different ideas on backgrounds. So it just depends what you like. And then I'm just grabbing some blue and I'm just dropping it in there. You don't have to be neat. Be creative. Do it however you want to do it. It really does not matter. It's all about what you like. Expression, expressive freedom of colour on your paper. Just grab a bit of paint and just watch how it flows in the water. It's just brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I just love it. And then I'm just going to grab a bit more. Watch how it flows in the water. It's just so nice. It's so relaxing. I haven't spent a lot of time on the background. I just wanted to put something in there. But if you wanted to spend a bit more time being a bit more creative on the background, you can. I just added some greenery for it to act like it's seaweed, if you like, just to give a bit more colour on the page. But I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for sticking around. Don't forget to check the description box. You'll get a free printable if you do want to have that. If you can draw it yourself, great. Like I say, you've got the option there to print it out if you do want to do that. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.